Hi, my name is Lauren O'Connell and welcome to my ingredients analysis, application demonstration, and wear test of the Natasha Denona Tan, Bronze, and Glow palette. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and you hit that notification bell so you never miss any of my upcoming videos. My videos help you to become a more informed consumer because I dive deep into the ingredients going into our cosmetics, skincare, hair care, and dental products using evidence-based research. You should absolutely know the ingredients going into your personal care products, and I'm here to help you do just that. If you're not interested in the ingredients, feel free to skip ahead. I have timestamps in my description box below, as well as clickable timestamps pinned as the first comment in this video. Now let's get into these ingredients. The first category of ingredients we're going to take a look at are the opacifying agents. Opacifying agents make a product more opaque. That means less clear, less translucent. The first opacifying agent is mica, and there's also synthetic fluoroflogopite in this formula. That's synthetic mica. Mica is a natural mineral that has a lot of sparkle and shine. We also have calcium aluminum borosilicate as well as calcium titanium borosilicate. These ingredients have a lot of light reflecting properties, which is great if you're like me and you have some emerging fine lines and wrinkles. I am 37 years old with dry skin. When you have an ingredient that reflects a lot of light, it has this blur-like quality to it. So it's going to help to minimize the appearance of those pesky fine lines and wrinkles. There's also carmine in this formula, and carmine is a reddish dye that comes from the bodies of crushed dead beetles. So keep in mind this is not a vegan formula. Moving on, we have the emollients, and emollients are going to help the skin feel very soft and supple. They also lend a lot of slip to the cosmetics, and that means that it's going to glide on the skin very smoothly. Capital glycol is a humectant, which means it's a water binding molecule. It's going to grab onto water on the surface of the skin and even a little bit in the air, hold it into the skin, giving us a beautiful, temporary, plumped up, youthful looking effect. We also have silica, and silica is a natural mineral and it's in these perfect little spheres, and that's going to help the formula just glide very evenly onto the skin. There are a few different thickeners in this formula that are also wax-based, and we do have octododecyl steryl stearate, and this ingredient also serves as an emollient. Thickeners help to just give the formula some bulk and some texture as well. We also have two emulsifiers, and I do want to point out that both of these emulsifiers also serve as emollients. Emulsifiers help to hold all the ingredients together and to keep the formula intact and stable. BHT is an antioxidant that helps to stabilize the pH of the formula. Stabilizers keep the formula functioning and prevent the ingredients from breaking down. Binders hold the formula together, keeping it intact and stable. And we do have alumina, which is our absorbent property, and this has a mattifying quality to it. It's going to help to absorb any excess oil you may have on your skin. Finally, we do have a few different preservatives, and I do want to point out that the 1,2-hexanediol also serves as a solvent, and this ingredient helps to keep different silicones together, and it dissolves other ingredients in the formula to keep the formula very consistent. 1,2-hexanediol also serves as a humectant as well as a preservative. Ethyl hexylglycerin is a very common preservative, and I see it in nearly every product I review. Those are the ingredients in the Bronze and Glow palette. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed learning about them, and let me know in the comments down below if you learned something new. Now let's move on to product packaging. The Natasha Denona Tan, Bronze and Glow comes in this tan box with a big ND across the top. This palette retails for $55 in the USA. Here in Dubai, it's 215 dirhams, and that comes out to $58.90. On the back side of the palette, she does have some details about the different ingredients. She has the open jar symbol with an 18M on the inside. That means that once you start using this product, you have 18 months before it expires. She also has 4 little squares and a description of what each product does. When I open up the packaging, we have this beautiful looking palette. On the front side, it is a very similar look to the product packaging. And on the back side, there is this sort of mirror type of look. I do want to point out, and just touching this for a few minutes, I'm already seeing my fingerprints all over the place. So keep that in mind if you are someone who's a bit particular about your products. When I open up the palette, I see the 4 different shades, and I love the fact that there is this little plastic window to keep the creamy formulas intact and separate from the powders. That's a very nice touch. She has a very big mirror here, and it does come with a sticker to protect it, and I have to say it's a very nice large mirror. I do love that. So now let's get into the shade swatches, and I'm first going to swatch the shade with my finger and then use a brush next to it, so you can see what the pigmentation is like as well as what the product looks like when it's applied with a brush. The first shade is the Glow Cream Base. Super Glow, Blush and Bronze Powder, Glow Impact Powder. Now, I do want to mention that I met Natasha Denona a few weeks ago. She was here in Dubai launching her makeup brand. It's now available in the Sephoras across the UAE. I was invited to her masterclass and a little meet and greet. She did remember me because this summer I had made a video on her I Need a Nude lipsticks, and she had actually commented on my Instagram teaser of it. But she used this palette during the masterclass, so I'm going to try to recreate the look and the techniques she used to show you how to best use the palette according to her expertise. And I mean, she did develop this makeup line. I also do want to say she pointed out in the masterclass that she's so focused on ingredients and the ingredients in her products, and I was so happy to hear that. It's very rare to hear about someone who is so passionate about ingredients like I am. So let's now get into the application of this product. I'm first going to use my finger and put on the Glow Cream Base. This is how she did it. My hair is completely getting in the way right now, so I'm pulling it back with a claw. Now, she did a lot of finger blending, but I am using this Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood complexion brush just to help me blend in this cream base. Next, I'm going to take this angle brush and just sweep it into this blush and bronze powder. Because I'm so fair, I'm only picking up a tiny bit. I'm going to buff it into my skin using this Tarte buffing brush. Now, I don't have a Natasha Denona blush, and I want to put on a little bit of blush before I put on the highlighter. So I'm going to use this tiny little Tarte Orgasm cream blush and just apply it to the apples of my cheeks. All right, now to get into the highlighter, I'm first going to put some of the Super Glow on my cheekbones as well as a little bit on my forehead. And I want to point out that I love the way that this highlighter just emulsifies into my fingers. It's creamy, but it does have a powdery finish. It's very unique. Finally, I'm going to put on the Glow Impact Powder, and this is the powder highlighter. So here is my look using the Tan Bronze and Glow palette. You really can carve out those cheekbones with this palette. I'm now going to let this just rest on my skin. I have a few errands to run. When I come back, I will check back in with you. We'll see how it's looking, and I'll let you know my thoughts on the palette and whether I think it's worth purchasing or not. I just came back from being out and about. I have not touched up my makeup at all. This is the same exact makeup I had on earlier. I was just looking in my mirror, and I have to say, I think the makeup has just held up so well. And it is a little bit darker now. It's later in the day, and just with my room being a bit darker and looking in the mirror, I could just see this amazing highlight just really illuminating my cheekbone. And I feel like my cheekbone really is carved out with this makeup. I love the way it looks. I do want to point out that after I finished filming, I had looked at my hands and they were covered. I mean, covered in sparkle. Lots of the borosilicate ingredient that we went out over earlier was just all over my hands. Of course, that's to be expected because I applied the products with my fingers, but keep in mind, after you use this product, you will definitely need to wash your hands. I do also want to point out that it looks incredibly beautiful, but it gets messy pretty quickly. I know before I mentioned the fingerprints, and unless you're applying this product with gloves, it will be nearly impossible to keep your fingerprints off of it. Also on the inside, I have a lot of residue all over the palette, so this is something that you're going to have to wipe down quite a bit if you are particular about how your cosmetics look. This has gotten pretty messy just on one application. But for me, that's not a huge deal because I'm just not overly particular about how my makeup looks. I've had kids for 10 years now. I used to be more particular, and now I kind of let everything go out the window. If you have kids, you probably understand exactly what I'm talking about. I do want to say though that my skin just has this beautiful glow to it, and it just looks very dewy, and this is something I think that would work really well for anyone with mature skin or kind of bordering on that mature skin category. I did mention earlier I'm 37, so I want to have makeup that's really going to just kind of give me that extra moisture, that extra emollients, and going to help my skin just look as youthful as possible, and I can really see that happening with this palette. Overall, I have to say, I think this palette is absolutely fantastic. This is something I'll use during the day, and I'll just apply more and do a heavier look for nighttime to just give me that real vampy look and that sexy carved out cheekbone. The price of this palette is quite high. This is very luxurious. This is a luxury high-end cosmetic product. If the price point is just not quite in your range, don't worry, because I have so much makeup to review, including other highlighters and bronzers and of all different categories. So I'm sure we'll find something for you. Thank you so much for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and leave me a comment down below and let me know if you own any Natasha Denona makeup products, or if you'd like me to review anything else, anything that comes to mind. Let me know down below. I read all the comments. Thanks again. See you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. Subscribe now to Lauren O'Connell Beauty TV, and let's navigate together through the world of beauty.